My fellow Americans, today, we are at a crucial juncture in our nation's ongoing debate over the limits of presidential power and the role of our institutions in safeguarding the constitutional order. A federal court has drawn a line, clearly and firmly, reaffirming that no individual, not even the President of the United States, stands above the legal boundaries set by our Constitution and the laws enacted by Congress. In a unanimous decision, a three-judge panel from the United States Court of International Trade has ruled that President Donald Trump exceeded his authority when he invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 to impose sweeping tariffs on foreign imports. The court concluded that the law, known as IEEPA, was never meant to be a vehicle for such far-reaching economic measures. The court did not mince words. It found that IEEPA, while empowering the president to act decisively in genuine emergencies, does not grant the authority to unilaterally impose tariffs on virtually every trading partner of the United States. The ruling directly cited the Constitution's Commerce Clause, which entrusts Congress, not the executive, with the power to regulate commerce with foreign nations. Let there be no mistake. This ruling is a profound check on the growing use of emergency declarations to circumvent the democratic process. It sends a powerful message. Economic policy, especially one that disrupts international trade and impacts millions of Americans, cannot be reshaped by presidential fiat alone. In its reasoning, the court posed a critical question: does IEEPA allow the president to impose unlimited tariffs on goods from nearly every country in the world simply by declaring a national emergency? Its answer was clear and resounding: no, it does not. To read the statute as doing so, the court argued, would be to grant the president boundless and unchecked power, a prospect fundamentally at odds with the principles of a constitutional democracy. As a result, the tariffs imposed under the emergency declaration have been halted. The ruling is a direct blow to a key element of President Trump's trade strategy, a strategy that has already caused widespread economic ripples. The president's decision to levy blanket 10% tariffs on all imports, escalating for countries like China, was described as a response to the national emergency of a growing trade deficit. But now, the legitimacy of that justification stands challenged by the judiciary. The White House, as expected, was swift in its reaction. Within minutes of the court's decision, the Trump administration filed a notice of appeal, setting the stage for a prolonged legal battle. White House spokesman Kush Desai responded with defiance, stating, "It is not for unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency." He reaffirmed the administration's resolve to use every lever of executive power to pursue what it views as a vital mission to put America first. But this moment is not just about trade policy. It is about governance. It is about the separation of powers that defines our republic. It is about who decides the rules that govern our economy, our rights, and our future. For decades, Congress has delegated substantial authority to the executive branch, especially in the realm of national security. But IEEPA was crafted for specific threats, such as terrorism, espionage, or weapons proliferation, not trade deficits. The court's decision reinforces the original intent of the law, to be a tool for dealing with real, exceptional dangers to national security, not a catch-all mechanism to bypass legislative oversight. President Trump has long relied on bold and controversial methods to advance his agenda, often invoking emergency powers. To sidestep gridlock in Washington. From border wall funding to tariffs, the emergency powers framework has become a central pillar of his presidency. But with this decision, the judiciary has drawn a line, demanding accountability and adherence to statutory limits. The international response to Trump's tariff regime has been turbulent. Retaliatory tariffs, disrupted supply chains, and rising consumer prices have followed. Allies and adversaries alike have voiced dismay, and global markets have responded with volatility. While some supporters see these tariffs as a necessary defense of American industries, others warn that they risk isolating the U.S. and triggering trade wars that could ultimately harm the very workers they aim to protect. The president's defenders argue that bold action is necessary to reset the terms of global trade. They say that previous administrations have allowed unfair practices to flourish and that Trump's approach, though unconventional, is aimed at correcting long-standing imbalances. But critics point out that using emergency declarations to do so undermines democratic checks and sets a dangerous precedent. At the heart of this issue is a broader debate: Should any president have the power to redefine trade policy with a stroke of the pen? Should a declared emergency open the door to sweeping economic shifts without public debate or congressional approval? The court's answer is a firm no. This moment serves as a reminder of the strength of our institutions. The judiciary has once again proven that it can stand independent, immune to political pressure, and resolute in its duty to uphold the law. Whether one agrees or disagrees with the court's conclusion, it is a testament to the resilience of the American system that such a challenge can be brought, argued, and fairly judged. In the days ahead, the legal process will continue. Appeals will be filed, arguments will be made, and the public will watch closely. But today's ruling will remain a pivotal chapter in the ongoing story of how power is exercised, and limited, in the United States. It is a moment that should inspire reflection across all branches of government. Legislators must consider whether current laws offer too much discretion. Executives must respect the boundaries of their authority. And the people must stay vigilant, understanding that their freedoms depend not just on who holds office, but on how faithfully that office adheres to the Constitution. America's founders designed a system built on balance. No one branch was to dominate. No single individual was to rule unchecked. Today, the courts have done their part to preserve that balance. It is now up to the rest of us to do the same. Let this be a moment not just of legal significance, but of civic renewal. Let it remind us that in a democracy, power must always be accompanied by responsibility, and authority must always be bound by law. Thank you.